Hello and welcome. So today we are looking at the most important vocal exercise. So your voice is a muscle, and if you want to have a strong and healthy and balanced voice, it needs to be exercised. If you don't exercise your voice, it's kind of like deciding that your life goal is to run a marathon and then you never actually ever go for a run. So very similarly, if you want to have the voice you always dreamed of, you have to exercise it. Now, this exercise is one of the most important exercises you will ever learn as a singer, and it also happens to be one of the silliest. I cannot tell you how ridiculous I feel doing this exercise, and the mean sort of like plot twist here is that you can't be smiling when you're doing this exercise because it kind of throws the whole thing off balance. You have to be serious at the same time that you're making these ridiculous sounds and being silly. But it's okay, I promise you that it's worth it. Now, some of the benefits of this crazy exercise are that it's gonna help you to know exactly the right balance of breath and muscle. And this is so important. As a singer, you should probably be working this exercise for your entire singing life. That's how important it is. It helps you warm up. It helps you exercise, and you can actually use it when you're singing songs. As you know, so seeing the words, you do this exercise, and it's gonna help you find the notes and build muscle memory. So I really could go on for quite some time about how awesome this exercise is and all the reasons why, but instead, let's just learn the exercise and get practicing. So this exercise is called the bubble, and it sounds like this. I had to work really hard not to laugh or smile just there. So like I said, it was silly, I warned you. And it's a little bit more challenging than it looks. So our goal at the end of this video is to have you practicing these lovely little arpeggio patterns like this. Up and down the scale. But before we get there, we have to just get used to making this bubble happen. And it requires enough breath, so you have to make sure that you're well supported, and it takes a little bit of coordination. So first off, just see if you can do this. Kind of reminds me of like a horse, like I feel so silly. Okay, so you could try that, or you could imagine you're in the swimming pool, do you remember your first time swimming and you're trying to blow bubbles in the water? That's the same idea. So you don't actually have to put sound behind it if you don't want to, just to get the feel of it. So once you have that sorted out, you can add some sound to it. Just try making any sound. Just take a moment, acknowledge that you might feel completely ridiculous, and make any sound, any pitch. You can slide your voice around, just try it. Now, if that's challenging, what can be helpful is to take your fingers and place them on your cheeks like this. So you kind of want your fingers to be touching where your teeth are. You do not want your teeth closed. You don't want a clenched jaw. You need to be relaxed here. So your fingers are touching here, and your jaw's relaxed, and your tongue is also relaxed. So it's kind of like down. It's down and it's resting at the back of my lip, sort of gently on top of my teeth. So that's what's happening here. And I'm thinking, which is, again, it sounds so silly, but it's this sort of like dopey, sound that you want to get underneath this bubble. So you could say, buh, buh. I can't take myself seriously right now, buh. So if you can do that, you can place your fingers here, get a good breath, and that's gonna be how this feels. And you wanna maintain that kind of silly, dopey stance all the way through the exercise. So once you can comfortably, and some people, you don't need, for me, I'm comfortable with this exercise without putting my fingers on my cheeks. Others, like my sister, I've given her voice lessons, and she cannot do the bubble without this. So find what works for you, and when you're ready, we'll start to put this on a scale. So I've picked an arpeggio pattern to do the exercise on, but you can apply this to anything, and I'll give you some tips at the end of this video for where you can take this when you're done. And I also want to mention that we've created a free download for you. So you can sing along with me here, but if you want to just download the piano track so you can sing along with that all on your own anywhere you are, you can absolutely do that. I've got a set designed just for the male voice, so it starts a little lower, and I've got a set designed just for the female voice. Lastly, before we get started, if at any point you start to feel pain or it gets uncomfortable, you should definitely stop singing. Should never hurt. So all that said, let's dive in. Here we go. So I'm gonna start here. to. Guys, you can join me an octave lower or just jump in whenever you feel comfortable. We do have the downloadable full routine for you below this video. So we've got a special one just for the guys, special one just for the female voices, so you can pick which one's gonna be best for you and practice along with that. I just wanna give you something that you can reference. You can maybe sing along with me a little bit here to get a feel for it before you go work with the practice track. So here we go. Then I'm gonna take a breath and I'm gonna move up. Another breath while this moves. Remember that dopey stance. So you might feel like your abdomen's sort of moving in a little bit as you go. That's a good sign. That just means that your breath is being supported, so go with it. We just focus on constantly sending that air out of your body. Stay kind of silly, because that's gonna help you if you come to a natural transition point. I'll do one more. And that's how it's gonna go. So we've got a track for you where you can download, and we're gonna take you up and then we're gonna take you back down, and a couple of pointers on that before you go and get practicing. So number one is, if at any point you're like, oh, my voice has run out, I can't keep going. That's okay, it takes time to build this up. So stop where you need to and take a break and then repeat. You should never strain, and it should never hurt. If you're experiencing strain or pain, stop singing. The other thing to remember is that this is meant to be ridiculous. You're not going to sound good when you're singing a bubble exercise. This is the difference. Exercise and singing, totally different things. It's okay. Be prepared to feel silly. And then thirdly, you don't have to just stay with this arpeggio pattern that I taught. You can sing this bubble on any scale pattern or arpeggio pattern or warm-up routine that you want to. It's just such a good exercise for you. So you can apply this anywhere. And then finally, my most favorite way to use this bubble exercise is to sing it on songs. And that's because it's gonna help you get a feel for the, the breathing and the balance that you need throughout the song as you work on those pitches and creating muscle memory there, and something that you're really excited to be singing. So for example, my tried and true Let It Be, I always go to this song for demonstrations. Instead of singing, when I find myself in times of trouble, I'll just go the bubble. It's a great workout. It's gonna help you with your song. And I mean, if you have the right sense of humor about it, it's a ton of fun too. You can do this in your car while you're driving to work, listening to your favorite songs. There you go. So, the most important vocal exercise. Download your routine below. Happy practicing. Comment if you have any questions. We're here for you, and have fun.